All right. Okay, I'm gonna bring Destiny back. All right. And then let's, oh Lord, everything's like ding, ding, ding. Okay, let's go back to TikTok. Hopefully it's better. Oh my. This is definitely a lesson in perseverance. So we're back. We'll wait for the people to come back a little bit. Let's go back over to TikTok. No, let's go back over to Twitch. And I think that's the only one that we have to go to. My goodness. All right. All right. Hopefully we are good. Okay. Let's see. I guess they'll just have to find me again. So we'll give it a moment. This is technology, right? Anthony, of course you can play one or two authentic reggae on my podcast. Let's talk about this. For sure you can. What are you mean? Oh, you mean? You know how to contact me. Let's talk about this. I think that would actually be the bomb. All right, girl. Destiny, we persevere, right? This is what we do. I mean, in my promo video, I called you the comeback queen. The bounce back queen. It was the bounce back queen, right? The bounce back queen is in the building. We bouncing back. Oh, you mean, man? That we do. That we mean. So welcome. So I know. Okay, before we go any further, I know for a fact that you do multiple things. So, and actually, before you even say what you do, I'm going to show the people them how to find you. Oops. Here we go. All right. So, Destiny Savary is my guest. Welcome to the building. We are celebrating Women's Day, which is on Saturday. And I would love for you to tell the people then, because I can't do it justice. And at work, we're always talking about advocating for yourself, which I guess is part of standing up for yourself. So tell the massive what you do.
So, thank you for having me on this show. And we did it. So long time no see. We're matching lipstick.
I know. I was thinking that. I was like, what is this?
Don't worry. We're into. That's okay. We're into.
Exactly.
So, people in the community know me as a community leader, an author. I did have a best-selling book in the pandemic, and that was my first book. I'm writing my second book actually right now, and so basically, my first book was about navigating messy waters. This is like I call it the perfect storm, which is basically the health storm and the things that I went through in the Toronto community with the healthcare system, with the Ontario healthcare system. So my main focus now that I've been through the surgeries, I've had endometriosis. I was diagnosed with endomyosis a year and a half ago when I had a hysterectomy, and I had to have an emergency hysterectomy. Unfortunately, I had to take out part of my womb, take out my womb and some other organs. And so I was basically told, what you don't know is that endometriosis does affect a woman from having children. It could be difficult, but women do have children. And my other condition that I was diagnosed with was endomyosis, basically saying that even if I did get pregnant, that I would miscarry, that I would probably wouldn't carry to full term. So yeah, when life gives you lemons, let me tell you, I had to make a sangria.
Oh my!
Right?
Before you go a second further, can I tell you how I was putting on my makeup? Yeah, you're meant to be here today. I was putting on my makeup today, and the thought was, When life gives you lemons, are you gonna make lemonade, or are you gonna be sitting there soured up? So I can't believe that you said
Yeah.
that. That's crazy to me.
I I
And
I
we're wearing the
made
same
I
color
made my
lipstick. But
own
okay, go on.
statement. Like when life gives you lemonade, like lemons, you can make lemonade, but I chose to make a sangria because the amount of things that you know that I've been through. Come on,
Yes,
the amount of things that you know that I've been
we are
through
drinking. Yo,
in my life,
yes.
and you have
Okay.
watched me. Other people have watched me. I think that women, especially Black women, are not being taken seriously, especially in the Canada, in Ontario. I can speak for myself in Ontario. What I had to go through, our pain is not being believed. So March is
Yes.
Endometriosis Awareness Month. The next month is April, is endomyosis, my second diagnosis. So March you wear yellow, and April I wear purple. So I'm wearing yellow
Wow.
and purple at this point. And
You're like a Laker.
and so all I can say is, let me tell you, it's by the grace of God that I'm still here. I'm still speaking. Yes, my first book was a bestseller, like a hit and miss, but like it just happened to get lucky during the pandemic. But my second book, it really has to focus on different stories that different people have gone through, to be
Oh, I
and how
love
they
that.
anchored themselves in either like what was their anchor, whether it was faith, their
Hmm.
family, their children, and so I really want to focus in on that second book that I'm working on. But the stories, I am only one story, as you know, and you know multiple women who don't feel comfortable to share or to ask for help. It's
Right.
only by Instagram and Facebook, social media, that I was able to gather sisterhood and like through Endometriosis Network of Canada, Endo events. There's different events happening this month, but again, women don't even tell their families, not even their husbands or their boyfriends, that they have their condition. So for a woman
Yeah.
to even get up and go to an event, it creates a barrier. We have to make these things more accessible and like you
Yeah.
said, have the conversation like we're having the conversation right now.
Yes. I do want to take a moment to big up Zentele. Zentele brawling officially, real brawling. Big up yourself. He's in the chat. Destiny. He says that you have a nice voice and you should be in radio.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, you might want to consider that. Donna says back to back. Yeah, it's crazy. So, okay, you get one diagnosis, where your womb is not, your uterus is not doing what it's supposed to, and it's um I actually made a video about that for those other people. Maybe if I can find it, I'll edit it so that I don't get in trouble for using it, and maybe I'll put it on my page because it was very informative.
Mhm.
And so your uterus wasn't doing what it was supposed to. It was creating more fiber than, like more tissue than what
Right,
you needed to have in
right.
there. And then you go and you're like, all right, finally. And I know you're like, persevere. When I say advocating for yourself, this lady over here needs to write a book on that as well, because you stood up for yourself. I'm getting goosebumps. You stood up for yourself. You went on the radio. You went on TV. You did what you had to do to advocate, and then you were able to get the surgery and do what you needed to do in order to be better, only to find out that now you have this other thing.
Yes.
How do you navigate that? Like what I know we making sangrias with these lemons, but like really, how are you what are your
Let me tell
what is
you.
your coping mechanism?
Let me tell you. Like I said it again. If it wasn't for like my faith in God, people want to say the universe or whatever, but I believe that for the longest time I used to believe that like God, like like God is in the Bible, like the woman with the issue of blood, she's cursed, she has to be put aside, she's not in the community when she has a period, like she's like that's the way, and I literally used to
Yeah.
feel like that. I'm people would invite me to events and Christmas and New Year's, these things, and I can't go. This is the first New Year that I actually went out in 20 years. And I dressed up and I
Oh
got the
my
hotel because
gosh.
it's just like you don't want to be out and then an accident happen, or you have to have extra
Yeah.
clothes, you have to change. Like it really is a sensitive issue. And like
Yeah.
I said, people are not talking about periods or menstruation, so it's a hush hush, it's a taboo, as we said, as we said, like at the last interview that I had with you. It's just this taboo, but like
Mm-hmm.
now reproductive. The last woman president, woman running for president in the U.S., was talking about infertility and was talking about, abortion and all these things. They were talking about women's issues, and you know what? As we
Yes.
go into International Women's Day, let us not continue to be afraid to speak out about these issues. The only reason why I knew something was
Yes.
wrong when I was with my ex-husband, as you know, at that time, years ago, I was with one person for almost 14 years, and I never got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. Think about it. If a woman is not, as you said, the uterus or things that happen, is like the fibroids, the polyps, chocolate cysts.
Yep.
If you know
Yep.
you're having these issues and you're not getting pregnant and you're sleeping with like one person, you're a main person on a regular, that means
Mm-hmm.
that something is wrong. It's usually when women
Yes.
want to have children. Remember, I told you that when I was trying to have children at that time, I was around 35. I got diagnosed late, and they basically said, "Well,
Yes.
you know what? You missed the boat." And that's what I feel right now, Mr. Andrew. I feel like I literally was bamboozled by the healthcare system. I was manipulated,
Yeah.
controlled, and to tell you the truth, how dealing now with that second diagnosis, to come back to the question, was it's like I've been through so much already. It's like, what more can I go through? But it's my faith that kept me. And the people around
Mm-hmm.
me, my family, my mother, my brother, my sister, and the people around me who continuously can encourage me to keep going. Because at this point
Mm-hmm.
now, let me tell you, after a year and a half, after it's been a year and a half now after hysterectomy, guess what?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got a period in January. I started bleeding again. I'm like,
Yes.
what? I'm like,
And
what?
I know women are out there probably like, why are they celebrating that? But listen, as somebody who now it's mine is like spotty, like it's not really
Yes,
doing what
yes,
it used to
yes.
do. When it comes, you're just like, mm-hmm. Hey, what's up?
But
So congratulations. And the fact that you got it and you went out and new chapter, new
no, but
things,
the
right?
thing is, I'm not. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm actually not supposed to get it, but because of the type of
Yeah.
surgery that I did have, I'm
Yeah.
still like spotting a little bit. But the thing is, the pain came back. And this is where I said I felt bamboozled
Oh.
because it's not because of the endometriosis, it's also because of the endomyosis, the second diagnosis. So it's like I said, my body's still working retrograde, even though I don't have. I said I went to the doctor. They said, "Oh, it's phantom pain." Phantom pain. So basically, my body still
Phantom
thinks
pain.
that I have like I have ovaries and my uterus,
I
my
use.
cervix, it still thinks that it has that, so it's operating like that. I'm like, what?
Oh. Then now you need to do a paradigm shift. Be
Uh,
like, yo, my
a
girl
shift and
is gone.
perspective. Perspective. The good thing, like I
Yes.
said, the good thing, what I did was, um, in my recovery, I basically started juicing and cooking properly and doing different things. And I developed basically my own program, which I basically help kind of
Mm,
heal myself. And I want to help heal others. It's
mm,
called Triple Threat Wellness Coaching Consulting. And I
mm.
basically deal with women clients, and it's an online digital platform. You could find me online. It's not in person or anything, it's online. Women find me from all over the world from reading my book or hearing my interviews or seeing me on the news or seeing me on podcasts, and they ask me questions. So I was given all this information for free about how I went through it. But now at this point, I've
Mhm.
had to basically take some of the therapies and the things that I've done, the recipes and things to help to heal the womb. That's what it is, womb healing. It's the core.
Yes.
If your core, if your
Yes.
gut, your womb is not good, everything's out
Yes.
of order. So
Everything's
that's
out of, and you think about it, it's at your root.
your
Yep.
womb is the center,
Yep.
your core. That's how God made
Yep.
us. So
Yep.
I'm working on again. Um, just creating that balance. It's not necessarily hormone balance. It's actually mind, body, and spirit, right? A
Yep.
good thing that I did was I had to take a sabbatical. I basically just left Toronto for a little bit. I'm up here in the cabin in the woods, and I'm basically basking. Like I'm healing myself. I'm doing what I need to do, mind, body, and spirit,
Hmm.
right? In order to be able
Yeah.
to coach people. Or a person, I find right now, everybody calling themselves a life coach. Everybody calling themselves a fitness coach. Everybody's calling themselves a transformational coach. That's good for you. But hear what? Hear my tricky accent. Hear what? Now, talk the talk the talk. 2 years ago, I was 140 pounds. I've never been that big. I'm 5'2". Imagine that. I went down. Right
Wow.
now, I'm back to my ideal weight. And you know why? Because remember,
Okay.
my body went through the surgeries and all these things and perimenopause and all
Yeah.
this. But here, what? I gained weight. I
Inflammation.
gained weight and I was not feeling good about myself. And I'm eating, I'm exercising. I even took a line dancing class. Like, country, don't break my
What?
heart, my achy breaky heart. And listen, I'm doing this.
You know what? I would actually, and this is where, my parents' children do these weird things. I would actually buy the cowboy boots and the hat and
Yes,
and go.
yes,
What are you mean? I
it's
would.
so
I
much
think that would be
fun.
like such a cool
It's
experience.
so much
Yeah,
fun.
like I think it would be really
My
cool.
birthday's coming up, and I said, I'm gonna do like I'm gonna try something. This is my year of yes, and I'm gonna try some things and do some things that I've never done before. And you know what? It's not
Say
based
it
on
again. This is my. What
gender,
did you
based
say?
on
Wait,
whatever.
hold on.
It's
Hold.
based on what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get something done. So I'm trying different things,
You,
and that brings me joy, and that keeps me going.
you said this is my year of yes.
Yes,
Is that what you said? I
this is my
love
year.
that.
Yes.
This is my year of yes. I mean, I have to. You're giving me so many goosebumps right now, Destiny. I can't. I have to put that in the chat. Okay?
This,
My eye doctor
well,
said
come
to
on.
get
This is
used
the
to.
year of the woman.
What are we doing, Edge?
Let's
What are
rise up.
we doing here? Maybe I'm not going to put it in the chat. Oh, I know what I just did. Hold on. Oh, the page is unresponsive. Okay. All right. We're going to go because it's not. What made you get that decision?
What made me?
What's going on?
But frozen.
We're having an issue. One second.
Okay, now we're good.
Are you back? Can you hear me now? Okay, you're moving. You
Yes,
were frozen, and
I
I
can
was like,
hear
I'm
you.
not leaving the page. I promise you, I'm not leaving the page again. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
No. Oh. What is going on? Parker, thank you. You can hear me. Leslie, can you
I,
hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh no.
You don't hear me?
My internet bill. Okay. Okay. Now I hear you. Oh, but it's acting weird. Hold on. What are we doing here? What is? All right. Okay. I think she left. I think she's like, uh, okay. The music is not stopping, so I think we're okay. I'm gonna bring this one back.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
They're trying it. They're trying it today, Destiny. They're
That's
trying it, but
okay.
we are just we're drinking sangrias over here, okay?
That's
We're drinking
okay.
sangrias.
Listen, like you said, perseverance, perseverance. If
Yeah, we're not
anybody
giving up.
also has any questions, you can put that in the chat too. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'll be happy to. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Destiny Savary, Stacy Savary. My book, The Perfect Storm: Navigating the Storms of Life in Messy Waters, is on Amazon. Um, like I said, the for me right now, the recovery is the testimony because what I basically had to go
Mhm.
through, now I can help somebody else so they won't have to go through what I went through, especially within the Ontario healthcare system that doesn't take Black women's pain seriously. I know I just
Yep.
saw um, something online recently, an influencer, a young woman, I think she was in California
Mhm.
or something. Big, big
Mhm.
following, 500, like 500,000 people following her or something. She wrote a book. She's on television on NBC and different things. And you know what? She had endometriosis. She just recently had a surgery, I think in January something. Um,
Mhm.
February, by 1 month after she chronic pain, she took her life. She took her
Oh
life.
no.
Trigger one is suicide. Like she just took her life.
Oh, baby
They're
girl.
burying her tomorrow.
Yeah.
Her brother and her family are burying her. Young girl, or younger than me. You understand?
Oh, my deepest condolences to her family. That is such a hard thing. I can't even imagine experiencing that. Um,
There's a
wow.
piece.
She had no idea how loved and supported she was,
Mhm.
right?
This,
And this is the thing. Sometimes you get into these as somebody who, and I'll just be transparent with it, as somebody who was on that train. I was on that suicidal train um years ago. It it's such a I'll speak from my experience. It is such a fog, and you really genuinely believe that the world will be a better place if you're not in it.
mhm.
Like you honestly, genuinely believe that, and you are fighting every day to resist the urge to do the thing, right? And this is why, even though sometimes, well, when I was younger, my mom used to make me so upset sometimes. But my mom literally saved my life because she called me in the 11th
Wow.
hour, just before I was about to do the
Right.
thing. And just hearing her
Mhm.
voice, it was like, I don't know if it shook me or if it did a reset, but the way she was like, she sounded the concern in her voice. And she was
Mhm.
like, Angie, what's wrong with you? Like she just knew,
Mhm.
right? And she was like, come home now. And I was like living by myself at the time, right? I was living, it's just me and the kid. And the kid wasn't even with me. She was with my mom. Right? And she was like, come home now. And ultimately broke my lease, moved back home and tried to heal myself or heal.
Mhm.
And here I am today, 23 years later,
Wow.
still alive. So I am so sorry for the family of that
Mhm.
girl.
But you know what?
And I'm so sorry that she lived her life thinking that the world was better off without her because
You
it's
know what?
not.
That could have
Right.
been me. That could have been me because after a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I'm battling with this for the last for the majority of my life, for like more than 25 years of my life. I It's not that I had the thought, but it's like sometimes when you're by yourself, like I thought, like like sometimes you have like the angel and the devil, and they're both talking to you, and then they're like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like it's basically. it's like a war. Um, whether for me, unfortunately, one point I did write in my book that I had to wean myself off of medication because that painkillers that I was given, I was just popping it like I was popping it years ago, and it came to a point where
Mhm.
I was so embarrassed. You know what really helped me stop? Basically, I ended up in the hospital, and the doctor said, "Listen, if you continue," I was like neuroproxen, like basically, if you continue to
Oh,
take this,
the blue ones, right? The
if
blue
you
ones.
take this, if you
Sorry.
continue to take this the way that you're taking it, your kidneys are gonna fail, your liver's gonna shut down. Do you want to be a young woman
Wow.
on dialysis? And he had to say that in front of my mother. When he said that in front, what? Let me tell you, that shame right there. So like, you know what? I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done. But
Yep.
like I said, I've
Yep.
had to get other therapies, try acupuncture and massages and all these things. All the amount of money that I spent just to feel better, but at the same time,
Hmm.
it comes with the acceptance. Even now, like I honestly went into the going into the hysterectomy thinking that okay, well, I'm giving up my right basically to be a mother, but to save my life. They thought I had ovarian cancer. That's basically why I did the
Oh wow.
hysterectomy. The biopsy came back
Oh.
clean. Thank God I didn't have ovarian cancer. I don't have cancer. But at
Yep.
the same time, it's like that grief of not becoming a mother, of not having that dream life. Oh, the husband and wife and kids, and going to like just like the normal life or what people build into society into young women's heads. Let me just say this again:
Hmm.
just because you don't have a husband or a family or children doesn't mean that you're not successful. The fact that you get up
That's right.
we get up in the morning, we're successful. It's a success. We made
Yes.
it to another day while other people didn't make it. And
Yes.
so I was so trapped
Yes.
in that whole fantasy and dream life of what my life should be like. But at the same time, it comes with acceptance and going through that grief. Let me tell you, when I tell you I went through that grief, I would go to Old Navy shortly after my hysterectomy, and I would go. The manager knew me. He would let me cry. I would go to the children's section, hold the baby clothes, cry, put it down. The manager knew me. They knew just to let me be. I go on the
Just let you do
weekend,
what you
I
gotta do.
cry every weekend until I stopped going to Old Navy and crying. Let me
Wow.
tell you, I want that grief would want to make somebody take their life because it feels like
Of
again
course.
you've built yourself up for so long, you waited for something for so long, and then you're told that you can't get it, but yet everybody else has
Yeah.
it around you and you don't have it. That
Yeah.
gift of a child,
Yeah.
trust me,
Yeah.
that almost killed me. That almost killed me. I tell you, it's by the grace of
Wow.
God that I'm still here.
Mhm. That you're still here. And that's the thing too. We don't big up Dwayne Powell. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the rose. I really appreciate you. Um, don't forget to like and share the live. Please share the live. That grief is even something that we don't talk about. You know, it's almost like you're expected to. Well, all right. Okay, according to society, and I'm saying according to society, okay? According to society, well, now you're a failure, so just go live your life and we're going to forget about you in a corner. And it's like, hold on a minute. I'm a human, I'm a person, I'm still here and I'm dealing with this loss, right? And I'm so sorry that you went through all of that even. Like that I'm so sorry that you went through that. That like people should be allowed to grieve freely. And it is another thing that needs to be talked about. And I actually was thinking about having a topic on grief on the podcast one day, you know, and not like you had grief for the concept of not being able to have that cookie cookie cutter, or that, that society proclaimed success of the family, and the husband and the white picket fence with the two and a half kids and a dog, or whatever they say, right? um there's grief of that. There's grief of like experiences that you are not going to have. I mean, there's always adoption though. Would you adopt? Would you consider that?
It,
You don't have to say it if you
no,
don't. You don't
not at
have
this
to, like,
time.
um I get it. I get it. you
I
know
want, I wanted my
but
own. I wanted my own.
I understand.
I'm still, like
I
I
get
said,
it.
I'm still. It's a day to day thing. There are times where
Hmm.
um, most of my work that I've done in my life is with children and youth, and I think, like I said, that's why I said, God, like, this is a setup, because I actually took care of other people. Like, even my ex husband, I had a stepson. Like, I've always taken care of boys, black boys, and young men, and they're growing into young men and different things. So I've had the gift of to be able to impart wisdom and knowledge and love into other people's children, but not my own.
Hmm.
That's where the grief is, not my
Right.
own, not from my own seed, not from my own body.
Right. So how, okay, what steps do you take now in order to handle it? Like, you get that rush of grief. What do you do to move through it?
So before, when I was in Toronto and doing all these events and these things and pageants, all these things that I'm doing, that it was like a filler. It was just keeping me going, like, functional depression. But at this time, um, being away from everybody I know, taking some time being by myself, being in solitude with God. I journal, I write. I think the time of being alone and actually dealing
Hmm.
with it. Um, I do have, like, like online counseling groups and things that I can go to, which is great. I
Yeah.
truly believe in the spiritual aspect, but I do believe in the physical and the psychological aspect. I do believe that people people like me, especially, again, who went through the whole, try to do IVF, fertility, and these things, when you get that no, when you continuously get that no and you're getting that rejection, it really does affect your self-esteem, your confidence. I gained
Hmm.
weight. Um, you
Hmm.
know, I had to basically unravel what it is that I really wanted and what I'm here and
Hmm.
purpose for, and come back to
Hmm.
not fake, come back to I'm enough. Okay, I'm a woman. I may not have what everybody else has in that regard, but you know what? God still made me for a purpose and plan on this earth, and I'm enough. I'm enough for me. So me being in
Yes.
solitude and coming away from the noise of what everybody, as you said, the expectation of what I'm supposed to live like and be like to be successful, me
Yeah.
being by myself is enough.
Yes. Can I tell you something? It's very, I'm learning this, that you at the time were like functioning depressed. Um, you know, I remember admiring, because I've been following you for years, right? I remember admiring the fact that you were everywhere. Like, Destiny was everywhere. You were doing pageants, you were doing book signings, you were doing speaker panels, like you were doing all of these things. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like how is she finding the time to do all this? She's like superwoman, so mesmerized and amazed by you. Only to find out that this was just like, I gotta stay busy so that I don't think, right?
No, it was
I get
that
it.
it was another form of just looking for acceptance and love, and
Mm,
so you know what? Good job. You know what? You can't have a baby, but good job. You could be good at everything else. Like Michelle Obama. Look at Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama shared years ago after she left the White House. She had a miscarriage and couldn't conceive. Naturally, her two children are IVF babies, right? And she was this big
yeah.
lawyer, and she was making money, and doing. she's with her husband who's about to be the president of the United States. Like, like, am I? But yet she can't conceive a child. Like, she felt so low.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the first or last to go through it, but that whole feeling
Yeah.
of, again, like that perception of that wanting, that longing, and because you
Mm-hmm.
can't have that, you just fill it with other things. I just filled it with activity.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've gone back into the pageant world, right?
Yeah.
You come back. So now that you understand how important you are and how you are more than enough, um, how does it feel going into the pageant world this time around?
I've been going into the pageant world at this time, in competition, competing. It's not me competing against them. It's me competing against myself. I'm a very competitive
Mm,
person, and the things that I've been through going into the pageant system now is that I believe that one thing I really am good at is, again, speaking, sharing, fighting for causes, advocating. So
mm-hmm,
the pageant world opens up a world for me and a platform to do that. I can speak on tough issues. I can talk on things. I can wear my sash. I can show up for events that are meaningful and purposeful to me. And so
mm-hmm,
that's what's different now. I'm not scattered. I'm not just running to take a picture and say, "Oh, I was there with my sash and at a ball or a gala or something," and just say,
mm-hmm,
I was there.
mm-hmm,
No, it's when I'm going to these events, what is my purpose? What is my mission? Who am I going
mm-hmm,
to impart to? And,
mm-hmm,
and and what do I have to give to the community? I'm in Niagara Falls now. It's a beautiful community up here where I am, and I've met so much good people. I've met people. I've actually prayed for that. I prayed to God that I make good connections with people, good business connections, good regular day to life healthy relationship, and that's what
mm-hmm.
I have up here. Um,
Love it.
I like I said, it the last pageant I was in, Brampton, Flower City, really taught me something. Was a local pageant. When it taught me, the
Mm-hmm.
theme was to become the voice. And when I was
Mm,
becoming the voice and being out there were a lot of things that were happening behind the scenes. I was talking,
mm-hmm,
I could be talking about, relationships and different things and being healthy, but yet I was going through my own things behind the scenes. So now, it's not that I felt like a hypocrite or anything or whatever. Now I feel that I'm free from all of that. I am the voice. I have become the voice, and I will continue to use my voice to set others free.
love it. Yes. And definitely, please do like keep using your voice. Keep talking about these things. Keep advocating. Because it's not easy work, but it's very necessary work, right? Um, so with triple threat wellness,
Triple threat
how do people
wellness, yeah.
find it?
Mhm. It, it's I don't really necessarily have like that main website yet, but I do have a handle under so I'm under
Okay.
this page today. I can let's see. I can get it to you
So
in the chat eventually.
if people search triple threat wellness,
Yeah.
okay, they'll find you.
Yeah, but triple threat, you
Olga
can triple
says,
threat wellness, you can find me on IG or on Facebook. Triple threat. Yeah.
okay, triple threat wellness. Olga says that God has a purpose for you.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Olga.
yeah.
I truly believe that. And a lot of people go through things, they just focus on the pain. But it is painful to go through what I went through. but especially like going through four
Mhm.
surgeries, and like I had a husband, lost a husband, I had a lover, like a boyfriend, lost like it's hard to be in those type of relationships um when you don't know what's happening, but then when you get a diagnosis,
Yeah.
when you have somebody that believes you, when you have your family who are vouching for you, when you have your friends and people who are saying, you know what, keep going. Or it's not
Mhm.
necessarily, it was never about, when I wrote my book, I wrote some really, like, intimate personal things. People always saying, why you sharing your story?
Mhm.
Why, like, West India people, like, why you telling your business? Like, one lady said, oh, you're very brave.
Mhm.
But I'm brave, but you know
Oh.
what? I opened up a box because there were many women talking about it before, and now it's becoming
Mhm.
more normal. I still feel like there's a very
Yeah.
few women that are, black women specifically, the kind I'm talking about, are
Mhm.
talking about these issues like endometriosis, endomyosis, fibroids, menstrual pain, ovarian
Yeah.
cancer. Like, more people are coming out, and this wasn't the case 10
Yep.
years ago when I was talking about it. So
No.
I would say that, yes, I'm a catalyst for change, but at the same time, in that trying to advocate, um, my therapist, at one point when I was doing online therapy, she said to me, "Why do you think why do you think that you have to do it?" And I said to her, I said, it's not like this whole advocating and being out there, you say being everywhere, right?
Right.
And I said to her, because no, there's no one else. There's no one else
Doing
to
it.
do it. When
Yeah.
you're the first, or you're somebody who's leading
Yeah.
something, it's a lonely road.
No, it's not
It's
easy,
a
and people
lonely
don't
road.
understand why you're doing it.
And let me tell you, like I
Yeah.
said, it's by
Yeah.
God's grace that I'm still here. I'm still moving. I'm still
Yeah.
functioning. I still smile. I still get up and do what I need to do. But there's days when I want to stay in bed. There's days where I want to stay cramped up or just take those meds and just go to sleep and not get up. There are days,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
God's grace that keeps me going.
Yeah. And you're needed. You're
Needed.
needed.
Yeah.
Um. So definitely glad that you're here. So in terms, we're gonna shift
Yeah.
now. Okay. So tonight's topic is advocating for yourself, which you have definitely demonstrated that you have done in the health world, right? I'm feeling pain. You guys don't believe me, but I'm feeling pain, and this is not normal, and what's going on, and I need answers. And you kept knocking at that door until finally, you got your diagnosis, you did your surgery, now you've gotten your second diagnosis, but you're working through it. Is there actually, for endomyosis, there's no cure for endometriosis. You just kind of have to remove everything, but or is there a cure for? Is this a lifelong thing?
Sorry. Can you say that again?
Is there a cure for endomyosis?
Leishmaniasis.
Diagnosis, sorry.
No, no, no. There's no cure. They say there's no cure for endometriosis. The cure that they said that for leishmaniasis is basically what hysterectomy. But again, I'm I'm one of those women, and there's many other women that do the surgery of the hysterectomy who make that final choice, and the pain still comes back. Things still come back, or they might have bowel obstruction, they might have something in their gut. But the funny thing is, like what I said, I honestly thought that once I did that hysterectomy, that everything would be gone. That's basically how they paint the picture to you to get you to do the surgery. But at the same time, you still
Oh,
have 80 minus. I still have symptoms, even though I don't have a uterus. I still have symptoms of endometriosis. Why am I spotting? Right? So that's what I said. That's what I said.
oh,
That's a disconnect. That's a disconnect. I literally feel bamboozled. It's like
yeah.
it's like basically like when I look back at in America and different countries and like where they're just basically taking women's wombs without permission, without consent.
Yep.
I
Yep.
gave consent, but at the same time, I still feel like, maybe like I feel like a guinea pig. I feel like, I feel like
Yeah.
they're just experimenting on me just to see, like just
Yeah.
like just
Let's try this
like
and see if it
yeah,
works.
and this is the history of Black women. We know this. We know this.
Yeah.
Henrietta Lacks.
Yeah.
We know they experimented on Black women with no anesthesia. We know this. Our bodies are basically
Yeah.
what has helped the medical system go forward, like a test, you
Yep.
know. But
Yep.
at this point, like I said, being in
Yep.
Canada, the 2024, 2025, why do I still have to be suffering? Why do other women still have to be suffering? Like, why is it taking so long
Yep.
to get a tear or to get answers? All they want to do now is like
Yep.
after the surgery, like, okay, again, it's a money making thing. It's a business. Oh, well, okay. You're in
Yeah.
pain? You know what? We're gonna put you on hormone placement therapy. You know how much hormone
Yep.
placement therapy is? That shot, it's almost like $1,000, like $500. And I'm paying out of pocket. I'm
And how often do
self-employed.
you have to? How often do you have to do that? Once a month?
Something like that. Something like that. Like once
So
like
it's like a
every three
mortgage
months or
payment.
something. Yeah, once every 3 months.
That's wild. So can I ask you a question? Um. All right. Had you not done the hysterectomy, were there other um, courses of action that would have still given you a good quality of life?
Um, to tell you the truth, I think about that almost every day. And there are
Wow.
people who, like, when I was posting about it, about talking about going for this, there's people, the women text me or found me on Facebook and Instagram. They're like, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not going to help. You're going to, and I'm like, at this point, I was told one thing by the doctor, and then again, the noise from other people. But at the same time, it's not that I have any regrets, because I do feel at least I could get up, I could work, I can do things, I can dance. The things I can do that I couldn't do before, like normally, what normal
Hmm.
people do. But at the same time,
Hmm.
I feel like had there been more research, or maybe if I've gone to, maybe like there's some women that go to the US to get specialists and doctors to operate on them, but because they're Canadian, they have to pay out of pocket. So basically 25, 30,000. I didn't have 25, $30,000 to try to save my womb, to save my life. I was told
I get
the
it.
difference between me and other people is I was told that, you know what, we're seeing a mass, we're seeing something, you know what, you think it's ovarian cancer. It wasn't ovarian cancer. It wasn't cancer at all. That's the only reason why I did it, you know? And so, yeah,
Oh.
so like my situation is a little
Hmm.
bit different from anybody else's situation. But like I said, I being up here, being quiet, being in tune and being in the spirit, like I feel like again, like what Miss Olga said, like God has a purpose in this. That even though
Yes.
I feel bamboozled and manipulated and controlled by the system, that you know what,
Yeah.
something good is gonna happen out of this. Something has
Yeah.
good has to happen out of this.
Has to happen out
It
of it, of
has to
course.
happen.
Listen, we expect miracles,
Exactly.
we expect them. That
Exactly.
means it has to happen, right? Miracles have to happen, and something good must come out of it. And I tell you, you just being loud and being a voice about it is a good thing. You probably have no idea. And somebody actually said this to me during Black History Month, but you have no idea of the impact that you have on people, because the ones that you impact the most are not going to tell you. They're not going to
Mm,
tell you,
I
you
believe
know,
that.
but you're doing big things, right? Um, know that, right? That's
Mhm.
and even the cancer scare, that's a whole other can of worms. That's a whole other. You're staring down that C word and you're just like, whoa, you know. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing? And what are we doing? And you're just like, I got to find the best course of action. And
Mhm.
um, I would say if nothing, Destiny, please make sure that you're reminding yourself that you're your own Mike Tyson, without for lack of a better word, or you're your own Muhammad Ali. You are in that ring,
Mhm.
but like, I'm gonna bite your ear off. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Sing like a
Right?
bumblebee.
I got this. Like,
Yep.
you know. Um, because people, let's be honest, right? There are people who are afraid to stand up, and they don't want to. I'm gonna just lay here
Mhm.
and die,
Mhm.
essentially,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So the fact that you're like, nah, 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 I gotta get this body right. So okay, you say I gotta do this, okay, I'm gonna do this, right? And then you did this, it didn't work out for you in the way that you thought it would, but it still worked out in some way, right? Okay, I'm gonna take myself out of the city because there's just stuff going on here that I just can't deal with. I'm gonna I need some solitude, I need time with God. I'm gonna just go away and you are consistently doing things in order to get better. Even when you were a functioning depressed person, and you were showing up and you were putting on the makeup and the beautiful gowns, and you were doing the panel speaking, and you wrote your book, you're doing all these things. This is you showing up every day and advocating for yourself every minute of every single day. And the fact that you are brave enough, a warrior enough, to be able to come outside and talk to total strangers about it
Mhm.
is, I don't even have proper words. It's epic. You know, know that, right? Don't ever minimize what you're doing for yourself and others, because like I said,
Mhm.
you will impact the people you impact the most will never tell you how much you've impacted them. You probably saved somebody's life right now. You have no idea, right?
That's the hope. Thank you. Thank you for again.
Olga says you are a strong person and keep doing what you're doing, right?
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Walker. Um,
Bad
again,
vibes, wagwan. Welcome to the building. Thank you for the likes. Everyone, do share the live, do like the live, and all that great stuff. Um, all right, so let's take this and switch it now. Um, you're in the relationships. You're you're showing up for yourself. You're advocating for yourself. Um, how do you? Okay, I got to figure out my question here. How do you take that energy and put it in other places? Like, are you so the way that you are loud and advocate for yourself, for your actual total being, mind, body, spirit? Um, is that something that you're able to channel into other areas of your life? Or does it all just kind of feel like one big thing, and this is what it is, and this is how I show up every day?
um, so I think the disconnect and the taking the time away has really helped me stay grounded and focused on what's really important. So, as I said before, all the activity and running for people, running for, even when I'm sick, running for man and this and that, trying to build with others, try to build others, try to build other big businesses and other people. I I just stopped. I stopped. And so me taking the time and being by myself is it's me pouring into me, but also taking the time to discover what I want to do. I'm gonna be I have a birthday coming up, And I said I want to do specific, like I said before, I challenge myself. I want to do new things, try new things. Because again, I was just so focused on when I was in bed or in pain or in the hospital, in the emergency room. I felt like I literally missed out maybe 10 to 15 years of my life because I, I
Mm.
didn't want to go because I didn't want to, you know, be out there and then I'd be embarrassed or have to like go home or like, so it's really a life changing thing when you can change your mindset. Sick, even though like when they say,
Mhm.
oh yeah, you have endometriosis, you have endometriosis, sickness is a state of mind. In my mind, I always
Yes.
thought that even though I had those things, I was never sick. That's how I was able to operate. But
Yes.
at this time in my life now, like the therapist said, why do you have to go out and do it? It came to a point where it was like, okay, I did all that I could. I felt like I did what I could in Toronto and other places, and even digital like platforms online, speaking on platforms in the
Mhm.
U.S. and to the Caribbean, being about like during the pandemic and even now that I
Mhm.
the question is I don't have to. Like much, I'll share on my page about
Yes.
March's endometriosis, but here what you won't see me at an event or something right now. It's like I'm I'm hibernating, I'm cultivating, I'm growing. God has planted that
Mhm.
seed for me to bloom again. So I think that
Yes.
people giving me time and being respectful of my space. People still ask me, "Oh, can you come speak at this event?" Could you? But yet they don't want to pay no money, right? They just want you to show up for free.
And just
I'm
show
on
up.
the other side of the lake. Come on, it's like you know, like, like the thing is, I don't have to. I don't need to
Yes.
because I'm I'm
Yes.
I'm that seed. I'm being
Yes.
planted. I'm being
Yes.
cultivated. I need to
Yes.
bloom. So this is the time I'm taking. So I'm
Yes.
doing it. Not many people have the opportunity to do that. I could probably do
Yes.
that again. Take an adult timeout. There's times that
Mhm.
when adults only take time out when they hit rock bottom. Yes,
Yep.
yes, I have had my rock bottom, but at the same time, it didn't sink my ship. And trust me, when
Yes.
that ship rises, not even a ship, it's a torpedo, because it's gone. When that ship rises, it's a
Yes.
torpedo. It's gonna
Yes.
cancel out everybody in that regard. But
Yes.
it's
They're gonna just hear this. You're just gonna hear the noise and be like, "Oh my goodness, what is that?"
watch out,
What
watch
is
out by the time
it?
good.
You're like, she just hear the. Shoo. There goes Destiny. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off.
Right?
Um, and like no is a complete sentence. Yo, I learned how to say no after my father passed away,
Mm.
and girl, it is
Isn't it
it's
powerful?
addictive.
Isn't it powerful? Well,
It is
they
the
come to you,
sweetest
they
addiction.
come to you. Oh well, they make you feel like nobody else can do it. Like nobody could. No, hear what? Hear what? It's not that important. Somebody else could do it. You don't need me
Yep.
to do it. You
Yep.
don't need me to
Yep.
do it. And the fact that you
Yep.
can say no and acknowledge that, the most important lesson out of all of this right now that I've learned for myself is boundaries.
Mhm.
Boundaries.
Ooh, you're speaking my language. Yo, your boundaries.
I had to
My
relearn
daughter
them.
said to me,
I had to.
my daughter said to me, you can have your boundaries, and it's not up to other people to respect your boundaries. It's up to you to respect your boundaries. Girl,
Really.
I was like,
Yeah, powerful.
I'm in church. I'm in
And
church.
that's what I'm doing.
It's not up to other people to respect your boundaries. You gotta respect your boundaries. So you gotta stand 10 toes on that no.
Hmm.
That no is a full stop, period, sentence, end, done, argument, done, mic drop, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and then you find the skin starts glowing, you know,
I'm telling
the
you,
waist starts getting smaller.
right? I
For me, the eyebrows started growing.
right. It's a transformation. It's a transformation. Just like the seasons,
Yes.
going through winter to spring. Listen, that bud, like where people they have flowers in their garden and those flowers come back, but they might come back a different color. They might come back stronger. They might come back, you
Mhm.
know. The,
Mm.
but that seed, I don't think people really look what's happening in this world. Listen, if we don't stay grounded and rooted or anchored to something in like other than what we see, this fakeness and this like what's happening in like, we will be washed away. We will be drowned. We will be
Yep.
carried away in that current. So I
Yep.
personally at this time I said, you know what, that's where I would just in the morning, I just got up a simple like I actually have a fireplace, a beautiful fireplace, and I light the fire and my chopped wood. Listen, we're a chimney in the cottage. Let me tell you, cottage country, and it's that chopped wood.
You have your
You
machete.
know, sometimes if I have to do a bucket bath, I do a bucket bath. I do whatever I have to do to
Mm.
fight for that right to, as you said, to have me, to have that boundary for me so I can heal.
Yep.
I came to a
Yep.
point where I said, you know what, that if I just got up in the morning, I had my coffee, and then I literally got download, and I literally just started writing, like
Ooh.
writing and nonstop.
Yeah.
And what I got is that word
Mhm.
anchored. And that's the theme of my life.
Mhm.
That's the thing, anchored. Because if we are not in the roots, anchored to something, in the world will
Mhm.
take us and it will just demolish us. Mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Look at this fake food,
Yes.
terrorists, like, wars, digital wars, like
Yep.
all these things,
Yep.
all of these things that just distraction, trying to keep us from what the
Yep.
purpose is. What is the purpose?
Yep.
What are we living? We're human
Yep.
beings, yet we're fighting over food. We're fighting over
Mhm.
like frivolous things, frivolous things.
Mhm.
And so my time up here and what I'm doing is like I said, that is cultivating me. It's cultivating. A new season is
Mhm.
coming. And when I to
Mm.
go out and be in the pageant and to dress up and to work, I'm not the same person who did it 5 years ago. I'm a totally different
Yes.
being. I'm a
Yes.
totally different person.
Yes.
I'm focused. I
Yes.
know I'm coherent. I listen because I can listen and I can just write it out, just write it out,
Mm.
and I could deliver the
Mhm.
message. So again, I don't necessarily have to be present in order to be present because
Yep.
I'm present. I'm present with him.
Yes. 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 And that is that's the most important piece. You got it, and it's peaceful. But yeah, you're present within yourself, and you're mindful of everything that you do and everything that you say. Um, it's so funny because even for me, I recently started gaining some incredible clarity. And I think it actually started with my eyes because I have an eye condition. Maybe one day I'll talk about it on the podcast. But I do have an eye condition, so I have a disability that's not visible.
Mm,
How ironic! It makes my vision
mhm,
not. It used to.
mhm,
But I know that in trying to care for my eyes, I was doing things that were actually harming my eyes.
mhm,
So I would have horrible eye days and things like that. But I've learned I'm learning how to take care of my eyes, and now my vision is getting better. So now, even like you see me on the podcast, there's no glasses. Whereas even at the beginning, back in January, glasses all the time, right? Glasses everywhere.
Mhm.
Now I'm wearing my contact lenses. I was wearing both. I was wearing contacts and glasses at the same time, right? Um, but the eyes have been starting to get clear. And it's so funny. It's kind of weird to me, but like the mental clarity
Mm.
has increased,
Mhm.
right? If that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Like as the eyes are getting more clear, the mental clarity is getting there. And being present in this body, in this space, is getting there. It's and it's an addiction. It's so addictive. Where even like if I go out on the weekend, like I went out last weekend, and whereas before I would be like, give me like 6 dragon stouts. you know. I was like, I don't want to drink anything. I'm okay. I'll just drink water. It's like I'm trying to preserve that level of
Yeah.
awareness, you
Mhm.
know. So it's like it doesn't even appeal to me to really go and, do certain things. So it's you're right, like just being present within yourself is another form of advocating for yourself,
Yeah.
you know. I'm so proud of you,
Thank
girl.
you.
I look forward to, seeing you continue on in your journey, um, seeing you flourish. And I low key envy you for being able to take an adult time out. Although I took a mini one in January, but to be able to take an adult time out and hibernate is so amazing. You know, it's so amazing.
It's life
Um,
changing.
so you know,
I think a lot of people travel, they try to go someplace to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
hmm
Like wherever you feel connected to the earth, or to your surroundings, your being, your family. If you have family in another country, I've done it too. I've left the country and gone to Trinidad for a couple of years and come
hmm
back. But there's something
hmm
different about hibernating and but being in close proximity of the people that like you need to stay away from, because it's like an extra like cherry on the top, because it's a
yeah.
graduation. Like there's people that I know that I shouldn't be around and that shouldn't be around me. And there's people that I know that I even tried, there's friends and people I try to reach out to now, and I literally feel like a block. But I'm like,
Ooh.
why are they not getting back to me? Why are they not talking to me? You know why? Because I'm a changed person. I'm not the same person
Yeah.
that hung out with them like last year, the year
Yeah.
before. I cannot go back to that
Yeah.
space and be in those spaces.
hmm I can understand that. That's literally my life right now. I understand it. And it's protection. Like we don't even listen to the energy that our body gives us when it's like our body's telling us like, yo, that's not it's not for you, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. And we ignore it and we push through it and we fight through it and we're fighting ourselves and mm-mm.
Right.
That block is a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, you have
You know.
to. It's funny how you said something about what you explained, the analogy of your eyes. A lot of people don't know I'm actually hard of hearing, and I recently got hearing aids last year. But when I got the hearing aids, I started like I'm hearing like, for the first time. I'm hearing things. I'm hearing like people's conversations. I'm hearing, but it got like so loud where I just literally had to kind of I'm adjusting, right? So I would take off the hearing aids, and and when I took off the hearing aids, that's when I got up here. I took off the hearing aids, and that's when I felt like I got that direct download, because I started to listen to God like a different frequency. I was listening to God. I'm not listening
Mhm.
to people anymore.
Yeah.
I was not listening to the noise.
Yeah.
So I got
Yeah.
the hearing aids. I could hear, but it's like a different level of hearing now. Like that
Mhm.
intuition, that wisdom, that being able to write,
Mhm.
Like the funny thing about that is, like I said, even though I'm telling you about the book and the name of the book, all these things, the funny thing is sometimes I feel like it's so personal. It was such a direct word, and what I got is that I really don't even want to share it with
Hmm.
people. Like I really want to keep it to myself. No, that's how bad it is because
You're like, oh, this is
it's
for
like
me.
because I know it's not me. It's like I got like I've heard about it before. Yeah, it's happened to me a couple of times in, in my spiritual walk and faith. But when you can get a direct word, and like it's somebody's
Hmm.
word, like God's whispering in your ear, or God, an angel,
Yeah.
whoever,
Yeah.
whatever, like,
And you're just like,
and you're literally just here, you're like, it, it's a gift. It's a gift. Only like
hmm.
there's people who write, there's people who are authors, and there's people who what you call prophetic writing. I honestly believe that was something so prophetic that what I wrote
Hmm.
is not something to be shared. And I would try to share it in the way to so other people could understand because I'm speaking it to you. So
Understand it.
you're hearing it. So as you're hearing it, you're actually receiving what I already wrote because
Hmm.
But the
Hmm.
funny thing is, it's it's something so special. It's so like it could have only happened. How did I take that time to
Hmm.
stop and to listen?
Yeah.
Just like how you
Yes.
took that time to stop and see, but to get that
Yeah.
clarity. As adults, we're not
Yeah.
taking that time or giving ourselves the permission to stop and
Yeah.
breathe and to intake.
Hmm.
We can heal ourselves,
Yes.
We
Yes.
can heal ourselves.
Oh, 100%. We can. I mean, um, my mom, my mom literally, and it's gonna sound crazy, okay? And my mom gets these down like she was the first person I heard talk about the downloads
Mhm,
from God, right?
mhm,
So she'd be like, "Sweet Holy Spirit, I can't do this on my
mhm.
own. I got to do this thing." And she get a download, and then she would just all this stuff would start pouring out of her,
Mhm.
right? But my mom actually like was able to cure her eyes. She had a thing going on with her eyes, and she was able to actually cure her eyes. And the eye doctor looked at her like, how how did you do that?
Really?
you know, and she just looked at him and says, God. It wasn't me, it was God, right?
So you know what?
But it was
You
also
experienced this.
the other part of the equation was the belief and the knowing that hey, I'm not keeping this thing, you know. I'm right.
That
So
that's
it's you
that
can't
that's
heal
a
yourself.
miracle, and right there, you sharing that to me, it's like a confirmation because, like I
Mm,
said,
see?
not everybody like for me. I feel like my grandmother had that like she was a seer. She could a visionary. She can see ahead. She could see things when dreams and visions. Like she got open
Mm,
visions and different things. And I have some of that too. And but it's like I realize again, it's not for everybody. It's not everybody can receive what, and not everybody's ready to receive. When you get that
yeah,
like revelation or that prophetic word for them, they're not ready to receive it. Then they're not
yeah,
they may not be able to change when you are. But
yeah,
for me, I could only focus on myself and the fact, like I said, your
yes,
mother has that gift, but she used it for the purpose that she used it to heal herself. Um, that's
yeah,
basically, I guess, what I'm doing up here. Like I said, hibernating. I'm healing
mhm,
myself.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
taking in. I shut out the world, and I'm just taking in, being plugged
yeah.
into a different source.
Frequency, a better frequency,
Mm.
right? A super frequency. Um, yeah, keep doing what you got to do, right? Keep going. Um, and when you're ready to come outside and play, you come outside and play. But you don't come out a second before you're ready, right?
Yeah.
You don't do that to yourself. Don't ever do that to yourself. And I used to do that to myself,
Mm.
right? Everybody wants me to be outside, so I'm going outside, but I'm literally, like when you're gonna go play a sport and you're like, all right, you got this,
Mm.
right? I can do this. I can do it. Like that's literally the conversations I used to have with myself to go outside
Mm.
to go party or whatever
Right.
because I wouldn't want to go,
Mm.
right? And then you're out there and you're drinking copious amounts of, like, insane amounts of alcohol
Right.
just so that you can get through the thing, right?
Right.
And it's like, why?
Right.
Like, I tell
What
you a
everybody
fact.
else is doing, like the crew or the girls or the
Yeah,
boys,
yeah, you're
because you
just doing
want to
what
be
everybody
cool,
else is doing, and you're just like,
you want to be cool, you want to be like social like everybody else. So you just social. I don't
yeah,
drink, but I drink when I go out socially. And yeah, like I said,
yeah,
I did all that. I did all that, and the funny thing is, I actually bought some kosher wine, some Jewish wine, and I have Shabbat. I have Shabbat on Fridays because I don't know. The Holy Spirit just said, you know what? You need to start like drinking like Jewish. I'm like, I'm like, and but even doing that, I started a couple of years ago. Observing Shabbat on Fridays into Saturdays.
hmm,
The amount of work, the things that I would get, even just by taking that wine, and it's not like going to
yeah,
wine and taking mass or like the communion. It was a
hmm,
specific intent that I don't know why I'm doing this, but I believe that I have to do this.
hmm,
So like
hmm.
wine is not bad. Like drinking wine or alcohol is not
No,
bad. It's again in what moderation or like what you're
yes,
doing, right? So
yep. And what's your
like
intention?
I totally get it. I've done it, and you know what? If somebody invites me out or whatever, I'm probably at this point now where I'm thinking, you know what? I don't need wine. Like I don't need like alcohol. I'll probably just drink water, tea, something. Because like I
Yep.
said, I'm not at that place where I don't have to show out for you anymore. I don't have nothing to like I have nothing to
Yes.
prove to you
Yes.
by 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 going on. I'll go to your birthday, I'll go to your whatever, but it's not something that
Yes.
for me at this time. Someone just said to me yesterday, I was speaking with a really gifted person, man, and like that kind of helped like scan and give me some clarity of my body. Basically, one of the
Hmm.
first things he said is you're not drinking enough water, and you know just be careful with your liver and your kidneys and different. You need a flush. You need to, like the
Yep.
alcohol and all the stuff that you drank in the past and like these things. Your body needs to flush out. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. Like, I know that. Like I know this. Like so we know what we need to do, but knowing what he said and knowing that um again the things that have transpired about the medication and the alcohol, these things that we know that we're not supposed to do, if I go out and do that, that's on me. God has no problem
Yep.
with that because that's on me. I was told, I
Yep.
was warned by somebody, I was warned by the doctor.
Yep.
Even the Holy
Yep.
Spirit, I remember being in the emergency after the doctor had told me, and like I felt like God saying to me, like, if you continue to take this medication, this is how you're going to die. Like, this is how you're
Mm.
going to die. You are going to overdose
Wow.
on pain kits, like opioid, whatever you want to call it. You're going to overdose, and then what? Is
Yeah.
that going to be
You're
your
going to die.
story? That's how you want to go out, like literally
Wow.
having a conversation in my ear.
You're going out like
We
that.
know what to do. We know what to do. For those who, again, he who has ear, let him hear, right? There's people that get these. They okay, it may be signs, it might be little bit. It may not be a direct word, like I said, in me, like how I get it or a download or. But people get these little things that maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I
Mhm,
shouldn't go out tonight with the girls or the boys, or maybe I shouldn't
mhm.
meet with that person because it'll lead to affair, or send that photo on Facebook or Instagram because that's still cheating. But you know what? I'm not physically being with the person yet, but I'm still cheating. But yeah, I could condone behavior.
Mhm,
We know what we need to
mhm.
do. We know
Yep.
what we need
And
to
then it's
do.
all fun and games until you fall into bed with somebody. I don't know what happened. I tripped. Big up Alvinel. Alvinel says, I really got to figure out this. I got to do this. I got to deal with this computer. But Alvinel says, a true, we have the power to heal ourselves. Um, it's just lack of motivation and pride sometimes, and the words we speak over sorry, the words we use over ourselves all the time. Yeah, there's so much power in the tongue.
Mhm.
And I know for me personally now, I can't even be around people that are going to speak negatively over their own life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was working with somebody and that person kept saying, I'm broke, me broke, me broke, me broke, me broke all the time. And I was like, yo, you're so annoying with this, right? Because I know for me, I'm rich. I'm mega rich, right? And mega healthy. Listen, you can't, yo, my riches, yo, like, you can't even spend it all. Like it's this is gonna be generational wealth,
Mhm.
right? And my grandchildren's grandchildren's grandchildren still won't be able to spend that money, or spend that
Mhm.
wealth, right?
Sure.
And it's so important what you speak over yourself and over your loved ones. Yeah, my other man and my dog and my this. Yeah, and that you're gonna get. You're gonna rise up with fleas because you say you lie down with dog.
Right.
So, you gotta speak like, even in death, my mom's like, yo, when they made your father, they broke the mold.
Hmm.
And the man is not even on the planet anymore. And my mom's like, yo, that was the best man,
Hmm.
right? We have to speak life and speak good things, into ourselves, right?
So true.
Alvinel says heal, you know. Listen, I remember one day I think I was at Lucky Ross, Wagwan, big up yourself. Thank you for the rose. Thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate it. Um, I remember when I was at my lowest low with my eyes. And I mean, it was like trying to look through, when you have a glass of milk and you drink the milk and the glass is all like foggy.
Hmm.
That's how my vision was. And I'm trying to drive and live life like that. And I remember one day just like, man, I just want to have clear eyes. These eyes have to be clear. I was like, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm gonna see clearly. I'm seeing clearly. Like that's it. We're not doing this anymore. I'm not playing these games
Hmm.
anymore. I have the best eyes, the clearest eyes. And like sometimes I get shocked because I'll see something like even on a plant, like I have aloe vera plants in my home, right?
Hmm.
And I remember one day and I have like there's literally two different kinds on the shelf right by me,
Hmm.
right? And I remember one day I'm in a meeting at work, virtual meeting, and I look at the plant and I'm like, "Wow, I can see the spikes on the on the edge of the plant." I was like, "Wow." Right? You speak into yourself the things that are going to manifest in your life. And I know people will be like, "Woo, she's speaking some woo talk," but I don't care what you all want to think, you know. I know what's working for me,
Yeah.
right?
But you manifested that. You spoke that out. But not only did you speak it out, you actually believed that it was gonna happen. I think people
Yeah.
could talk, but the actual belief, that's where faith comes in. You actually believe that you're going to see clearly and you're going to better than you were before, right? So it's taking
Yep.
those steps to actually do. You manifested it.
Yep. Leza, Wagwan, up full blessings. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the building. Yo, Leza, can you please message me? I need to set a date with you to be on this platform, sir. And if you haven't already, make sure that you download the song AI. It was my last week's New Music Friday. Follow Laser Current and get that song AI. It's good. And it's funny because every time I deal with AI, the song pops in my head. So it's a good song. But yes, sorry, I thought I don't know, I heard something. Um, that faith is and it's taking that first step. Like look, when I started the podcast, for example, after being years with the other people, on their platform and being able to sit with them for 4 hours
Mm-hmm.
on a Saturday, and feel like, okay, this is great, I can do it. When it came time to do my own, I remember the first show, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I could fill 2 hours. And it felt like the hardest thing to be able to do. And oh, people gonna want to listen to me for 2 hours? Like, I don't have music. I mean, I don't have, like, I'm not playing music to entertain, unless, like, if there's an artist they want me to play their song on the show, I'll do it.
Yeah.
That's fine. Um, but like, I'm not sitting here playing music. I'm not DJing for people, right?
Right.
And I was like, are people gonna want to listen to me? And I'm telling you, Destiny, every single show I've been like, oh, like now I'm like, oh wait, it's 8:59. This show's supposed to be ending right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just like all of this energy and stuff is just coming out. It's just happening, and it's like you just can't stop the thing from flowing, right? You just can't stop the thing from flowing. It's going, and it's like, wow, that's stepping out in faith,
Mm-hmm.
you know, taking that first step, and like, girl, people are going to start looking for the good as, right? They're going to start wondering, where is good as, right? How can we listen to good as? And even when I got invited to do the radio show, I was like, no, he's going to want to hear me, like, come on, man. Like, okay, you're just gassing me. I'm all right, I'll come, but whatever. And I remember the first week I missed my turn, I got like, the viewers are asking, where are you, like, where are you, what's going on, like, where? And I woke up like, I actually fell asleep and didn't wake up to do the show.
Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up the next morning, it was pure, the viewers are asking for you, where are you, like, like, where are you, why are you not here, like,
Wow.
are you okay?
Right.
Right? And it was like, oh, okay, you know
Wow.
huge,
So you know what? All that
huge.
is like building ground because you know what you took, like you said, you took a step of faith. You helped somebody else build their platform. You were on their platform, but you also got also followers and people who are looking for you, who want to hear from you, who want to go deeper with you. I remember being on that show with you too, but at the same time, we couldn't have gone as deep as we went today, you know.
Oh,
So now that
not enough.
you open up a new platform and you're doing you're doing what your purpose to do and what your purpose to speak about. And it doesn't necessarily
Mm,
have to be music or beats or all these fancy things or whatever. It's pure conversation.
mhm.
It's truth. It's
Yep.
wisdom, as you say, golden nugget. So I want to thank you,
Yes.
Miss Goodall. And I want to say that I'm so proud of you. When I do see you, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate.
Of course.
Because you know what? You
And
need to
listen,
be bigged up. You need to be given your flowers as International Women's Day coming up. You need to be given your flowers. You're a woman on media, on social media, speaking out, having a podcast. A lot of people talk about wanting to do it, but you're actually doing it. So,
I know, right? Thank you. And girl, I'm driving now, so I can come to you because I got me and Bullet. We can come. you know, hey,
right?
I was sitting there like, wow, last year my life was so different. you know, now I'm driving, got a boyfriend, like, got my own podcast. Like,
Yeah, it's
it's
a
it's
big
it's
deal. Girl, give yourself a pat
big.
on the back. We don't celebrate
One good as
ourselves.
one.
We don't celebrate ourselves. You know what? We're always comparing ourselves to what other people are doing. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. We could do what we're doing in our own lane and be prosperous. This is prosperous.
That's right.
This is you being rich. It doesn't necessarily have to be
That's
monetary things. This is rich. This is you being rich. This is
this
you
is rich.
operating in your element. This is your year of
Yep.
yes. Saying, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing
You're
and doing
yes.
it
Yep.
unapologetically.
Yep. And even like, it's now started to channel itself into my work life, right? I spend all of Black History Month having these type of conversations with people in leadership, people above my pay grade, way above my pay grade, and talking about, you know, racism in the workplace, discrimination in the workplace. And it was because my boss's boss said to me, oh no, you need to talk to people. right? And it was funny because when I had that conversation with him, that was literally the day after I was told not to return to that show. I mean, I had quit the show. Let me be clear. I had quit the show, but I had given them a time frame of when I was gonna be
Mm.
gone, and they were like, "No, no, you leave now, right? Don't come back, right?" And I was like, "Whoa, oh, okay." Right. The next day I went to my day job, and my boss's boss was like, "Yeah, so I want you to do this thing." And I've been talking to high people in them big pay grades, you
Mhm.
know, and
Right.
they're pouring out stuff to me. And and we have the audience and they're watching, and it's virtual as well as it's a hybrid event, so it's in person and virtual. And I'm just sitting there like, goodness, are you that? You know? So thank you for that. Like it's I just I just sit and watch the rocket keep shooting up, right?
Mhm.
Or sit watching the earth just keep, you know, sinking away, but still remaining human, and um still treating people with respect and dignity, right?
Proud of you.
And
Proud of
that's
you.
it. I'm proud of you too. And yeah, we definitely are gonna start. You let me know because you have a direct line to me. You know exactly how to get a hold of me. You let me know when you come out of hibernation so that we can celebrate. Is that a deal?
Cocooning, yes. Because I plan to fly big once those wings come out. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, when you
it's
come out of
gonna
your
be
cocoon.
it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be something um just to show a little like there are days like like while I'm here I'm like God, what am I doing? Like I gotta go like I gotta go somewhere like I gotta go back to the city. I gotta go be with my family.
Mhm,
My friends, my people like again. But that fear of the unknown and your future, especially as you said it
mhm,
when things didn't go as planned. I think that's the biggest grace for me in terms of like what, yes, this happened in their life, but there's only one part
mhm.
of your life. Like endometriosis, just like that diagnosis is only one part of
Mhm.
me. It's not all of
One
me.
part of your life.
People don't really know, and that's why I realize people really don't know me. People don't know that,
Mhm,
like for example, I was in there's a class that I take, and it's mature people, like older people. Some people around here are retired, like retired. They've worked in government. They've done their job. They raised their kids or whatever, and we have this fitness class that's open for like anybody, and there
mhm,
was like what like the Canadian artist and Twain, and like again we're doing like we're doing fitness, but I'm singing like even there's a song like
mhm,
from the Breakfast Club at the end. Don't you forget about me at the end, right? And I'm singing
Yeah.
these like pop rock songs from like the 80s and 90s. And
Oh
these
wow.
Caucasian people are watching me like the white Canadians. They're watching me like, wait, how do you know that song? I said, but I'm just, I'm dancing. Like, should I, man, I feel like a woman. I'm do it. And they're like, what? They're
I'm not
like,
gonna lie, I love that
what is
song.
going on here? What is going on? And I'm like, I grew up on these songs. I think people need to stop
Yes.
limiting people and boxing people in just because I'm black and I'm taking a class
Yes.
with older people and a song comes out, a country
Yes.
song that I wouldn't know the song. I'm moving to the song. Why do you
Yes.
think I took line dancing?
Yes.
So I could get out of my element.
Yes. I'm sorry, 1 second. Can you turn it down? I look like you can hear it. What was I gonna say? I actually, people don't know. So my mom was or is an avid, well, maybe not so much now. She's a child of God now, but avid Randy Travis song fan. So, you know, we grew up, I'm gonna love you forever. You know, like we knew those songs, and then the Kenny Rogers and the Dolly
Yeah,
Partons and,
yeah, I
you
know.
know,
Yeah,
all of
Kenny
it, the
Rogers.
Fleetwood Macs, like all of it,
Yeah.
you know, all of it. Yeah, people don't know. They don't tend to know. And I love that though. Isn't it amazing when they just assume you don't know something and then you hit them with it and they're like, what? And you're like, uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if there's one thing, then it's like when I would go to a class, and I'm not saying it's only Toronto, but I'm just saying like if I would go to like a good like class or whatever. I remember one woman like I'm in the class taking a Zumba class, and the lady would ask, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm taking the class."
Oh.
Yeah, like um okay, a woman who was like a little bit more had had some access, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a Zumba class, going to dance, and she's like asking me, "What am I doing in the class?" Like, I'm taking the class,
Rude.
yeah. And so I just thought that, but up here, when I take a class and I walk in, again, people are like, could be like anywhere from like 40, 50, 60, like retired 70s. I'm in the class with
Mm-hmm.
different people, all
Mm-hmm.
walks of life, right? And there's no judgment. I walked in the class like today, like I just started about a few weeks ago, and today I walked in and everybody's like, "Hey, Stacey, hi, 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 hi," and they're like happy to see me.
I love
I bring the spice. I bring a little Genesequa. I bring a
you bring the
little.
razzle dazzle.
Bring a little. Right? So we could be doing like a simple move, and I'm like, pop, like,
Pop.
I'm giving
You're
it a
like, watch the ride,
spill,
watch the
giving
ride.
it a spill in that class. But the funny thing is, it's no judgment, no judgment.
Love it.
That's the difference. I'm
Love
like,
it.
my God, look at that. I literally have to be
Mm-hmm.
transplanted from one place to another and just to have genuine kindness, conversation, love from people that I don't even know. And that's one of the blessings. And one thing I really didn't expect while being up here. I just expected to be by myself, whatever, and then I just ended up going to this place and being invited to a class, and now I have a whole community of new people wanting to be graced with my presence. Because like to see me dance or shake up
Love
because
it.
I give a little, you know,
'Cause I love that. I love
yeah.
that.
We need to
What
we need to
is
stop and take time for simple pleasures in our life. We do.
yes, yes, yes. It's so true. I went to Jamaica in January and hung out with my mom for about a month, a little less than a month. But I was like doing cartwheels on her front lawn, you know, and bouncing down the stairs on my bum and just being a kid,
Hmm.
doing headstands and stuff, and just and the amount of joy that
Mm.
brought me was insane. Insane amount of joy, right? Just having wholesome fun with myself, you know. It's just I think some of the wrinkles went away. You know,
Priceless.
um
Priceless.
priceless.
Hmm.
And so like more and more people, you're right, need to do that. You need to go and just enjoy yourself somehow. You know, find whatever joy is for you and do it, right? Just do it. What's one thought you want to leave the audience with before we go go away? Because I got to get up early and go to the gym.
No problem. Again, thank you for having me. I think the last thought that I'd like to leave with the audience is like, don't be afraid to be alone in your own presence, because we're truly never alone when we have God.
Mm, I love it. Don't be afraid to be alone in your own presence because you're never truly alone when you have God. Epic. Destiny, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And this is not the last time, eh? Because we have other conversations to have, other conversations to be had, you know.
Definitely.
So you let me know when we're doing it and we will make it happen for sure.
I
But it's
feel
always a
full.
pleasure
I
meeting
feel
you.
full after this concert. I feel like I've eaten a full meal. So thank you so much.
So do I. I know I feel so satisfied. I feel like when you've done a hard day's work and you're like, I can go to my bed. I can go to my bed.
Mhm.
That's how I feel. Yeah, like I
Okay.
did my big one today.
You did good.
And thank you because I mean I had a roller coaster week. So thank you for leveling out that roller coaster for
No
me. You
problem.
know, yeah,
Yes.
thank you. And thank you. It was confirmation because, you know, you showed me that I can move forward and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
It says amen. Have a good
All right.
night.
Have a good night too. That's it. Thank you everybody for
Yeah,
tuning in.
thank you for being here. Yes. And so goes another episode of the Big and Serious podcast. What? Good as I you that? Wow. Such an amazing conversation. So please be sure to follow her uh on IG Destiny underscore Savary underscore, and then of course Triple Threat Wellness for online coaching and stuff like that. And um strong, powerful, amazing woman who opened up the hibernation cave to come and talk to us. So we are very blessed and happy and lucky that was able to happen. Next week, on the Big and Serious podcast, we are going to talk to Rare. Um, I don't know what the subject is yet. We had talked about it. Let me see if I can find it in my phone. But Rare will be joining us. Another amazing lady. Let me just find that message. Give me a quick second here. Bear with me. I gotta find her. Okay, I don't even know what the topic is. I thought we had started discussing the topic, but anyway, you'll find out later on before the week is out. A week Thursday, what the topic is. So tune in next week. Rare will be on the show. We're gonna talk to her tomorrow. You'll be able to find me on the Power of a Woman, and I'll be with Chaplain Odette. Inside the Mellish Family Studios. I will actually be in their studio. Looking forward to that. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about strong women, the strength of a woman, powerful women. And, you know what? You got to tune in to find out what that's going to be about. And then, of course, New Music Friday, Laser Current. I will check my emails, I promise. Big up to everyone who tuned in. TikTok, thank you for all the likes and the gifts and the flowers and all the shares. I appreciate it. Big up to YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, my OG Twitch. Love you long time. And I will see you next week, 7 p.m. on the Big and Serious podcast. This is Angie Goodes and ciao.